So we have another question. How are countries in the APAC region evolving with AI? Is Asia still ahead? How can we encourage more collaboration, as in not leaving other regions behind?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah,
I think, I might just start quickly and then I'll hand over to you. I know that, certainly we've been doing a lot of work with the Singapore government in particular around the frameworks for AI and Singapore have really differentiated themselves. I think when AI really started to come to the fore, we have World Economic Forum, we have every single government practically was, Australian Human Rights Commission as well. We've done some work with them, all coming up with ethical frameworks. And I think what, the Singapore government did was said, well, that's great. We can have all of these ethical frameworks, but how do you actually do this? Right. And so they put together, a really fantastic, set of guidelines with practical examples around how do you ensure, ethical AI, how do you ensure fairness, transparency, and those sorts of things. And we've been, collaborating with them on those guidelines. And now they're moving to the next version, right, in terms of how do we bring this to life, even more. And so I think they've certainly been very, very progressive. In that arena, I think each, location and each government is, is doing their best to ensure that this is a very new field. The Australian Human Rights Commissioner is very much focused on the human rights around AI. And what does that mean? There's been a lot of talk around the divide between the haves and the have-nots will grow even more so because of AI, and some concerns around that. And what we were talking about earlier around bias in algorithms, right?
Yes.
What does that mean if someone's going for insurance? Or I think there was even some talk, there was a study done in, I think it might have been the US, where they found that the AI had something in the algorithm that disadvantaged people of African American origin, so that their illnesses weren't deemed as serious as those from white people, and so they weren't getting as many health benefits. And there's all these sorts of human rights considerations. So I think there are lots of different lenses as we all try to navigate our way through, what AI actually means for the implications on, on individuals and the businesses that employ these individuals and support our economies. So
yeah, and those frameworks are critical. I mean, in terms of is Asia leading? I think China is definitely leading the world in terms of AI. The power of AI resides in the number of people and the number of users that the AI can basically learn from, right? And so that's why companies like Facebook and others in the US have made us work for free for them. Each time we go on social media and like something, comment, we're doing some work for free, which is never labeled as work. Obviously, it's fun. It's share a picture, you like it, but that's feeding the algorithm. Now it's a lot of people, 200, 300, 400 million people. But a country like China has way more people there that are using technology in very different ways and feeding the AI at a much faster pace than anyone else. And so that's to answer the question on that. I think that's definitely there, and we see a lot of application in China. Things are working way faster as well, and again there is it's pace and ethics basically, right? So the more you want to capture information to feed the machine, the more privacy limitation you might hit, or say, well, look, what was private today is different to tomorrow, so we can go further there for the benefit of the machine. And that's an interesting debate. And Michelle, you mentioned that you're doing some work in Singapore and other countries. I think that's going to be critical and vital going forward, that we keep a sense of privacy while computers are getting smarter.